But one thing I'm sure of, it all began when I met her.
What's up, guys? Garrett here with COGconnected at PAX West 2017. I'm joined by Zach Garris, lead writer of Life is Strange Before the Storm, and co-game director Chris Floyd. Gentlemen, tell me, it's launch day of Episode 1, Awake. How does it feel in this moment? It's a big day.
Yeah, it feels amazing. I mean, it's been a little over a year since we started working on the project, and we announced at E3 a few short months ago, and you know, the buzz after that with the passionate audience and fan base that's out there for Life is Strange. Of course, lots of speculation, lots of anxiety in many ways about another Life is Strange game coming. And so it just feels amazing to have it out there now and fans having their hands on it.
Absolutely. So kind of for those that maybe not played Season 1 of Life is Strange, kind of bring us up to speed. What is Before the Storm? Where does it take place in the story?
So in Before the Storm, it takes place 3 years before the events of the first game. So we're inviting players to step into the shoes of Chloe Price, the age of 16. So it's 2 years since her father, William, has died. 2 years since Max, the playable character from the first game, has moved away. She's completely alone, and she's kind of trapped in a sort of stasis that I think we all go through when we're teenagers. But for her, it's much, much worse, having lost her dad. And so we're looking at this dark chapter in her life, and what it's like for her to meet this mythical character from the first game, Rachel Amber. Everyone you met in the first Life is Strange had something to say about Rachel, but you never got to interact with her yourself. So Before the Storm is the story of the meteoric impact these two girls have on each other, and how getting to encounter this girl, Rachel, at this particular time in Chloe's life saves her from where her life is heading at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chloe is such an impactful character in many people's lives, mine as well. I mean, I adored Season 1, and Chloe's who I connected with most, for sure. And I was going to ask, what is it like, developing a prequel to a game that is so beloved and so many people have latched onto? I mean, is it daunting to go into a task like that?
Yeah, it's really scary. I think everyone at Tech9, we were huge fans of the first Life is Strange before we were ever talking to Square Enix about what it would look like to partner and work together on a new Life is Strange story. So getting the chance, even when that conversation was starting, it was shockingly exciting, and then immediately shockingly frightening. The bar is so high. Don't not accomplish something so incredible with the first game. Its willingness to examine real issues, social issues, scary issues, take them head on. Its willingness to have a female character as the main character and another female character as the primary NPC. Sadly, that was courageous for most games. And I think the art style, the music, every aspect of the game was so obviously loved by the developers who worked on it. And I think that's why it's created such an incredible fan following and such a vibrant community. But for all of us, the chance to work in it, to tell a story in it, this is why we do what we do. It's to tell these kinds of stories, to tackle the kinds of issues that Life is Strange looks at. And so this has been a dream come true.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me, how much freedom do you guys have going into the prequel? I mean, were you kind of locked down, like these are story beats that you have to hit, or this is the story we sort of want you to cater to? Did you have absolute freedom?
Well, so to Square's credit, they really felt it was important, as with the first Life is Strange game, that Deck 9 really had the creative freedom to own the story. But we were also really fortunate that the core team of people who worked on Life is Strange at Square, along with Don't Nod, that those folks from Square were working with us, helping us to understand the fans, the audience, the world. So they helped us as we shaped our story and found the story that we wanted to tell.
That's awesome. Now, what kind of challenges did you guys face? I mean, if you have all this freedom, you can tell any story you want. I mean, obviously you have Chloe, you have Rachel, you have to connect these two, and the story that leads into Season 1 of Life is Strange. What challenges or road bumps did you hit along the way that you're willing to share?
It's a great question. I think for the story teams, I'm the lead writer, but I'm not the only writer on the project. There are four of us, 2 men, 2 women. I'm the oldest at 35. The youngest is 20, and she's still in college. So we have a very diverse group. For us, so I want to speak sort of for the story team in answering that question. I think the biggest challenge is addressing the issues, going to the darker places that Life is Strange goes to, talking about relationships when you're 16, talking about depression, talking about domestic assault, sexual assault, bullying at school, sexual identity, sort of hard, delicate, brutal, frightening, intimate elements of our world right now, and something that Life is Strange wants to explore as a game, and invite the player to explore through choice, through dialogue, through expression. So it was the biggest challenge for us is doing that well, doing that carefully, being thoughtful, being honest, and at the same time, I think it was for me, I'll say, the greatest joy working in a game like this is getting to talk about some of these issues, getting to make a game that cares about that and that says that's enough for a game to be a compelling experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say? I mean, the game in its entirety is something to be proud of for sure, especially all 3 episodes that we have coming out. But what would you say are key moments in maybe the process of developing the game that you're most proud of, like things that we're really happy that we hit this point, whether it was through the storytelling or the design of the game or the way things play out?
That's an interesting question. It's been over a year of, it feels like an avalanche of moments like that, honestly. A special moment would be for me, I think, in May. I flew to Paris and shared the then current build of our episode 1 game with the core team at Don't Nod. So the directors, the lead producer, the writer, Christian Devine, and I put the controller in their hands. We spent the day together. We played through the entire game, and we talked about what we've been doing at Tech 9, what we're doing with Before the Storm. It's the first time for them to see the actual game that we've been making. I think they were very skeptical of another studio working within their beloved world that they crafted. I mean, I think reasonably so. They were skeptical. So getting to see them connect to the material, getting to see them kind of laugh and get really emotional in certain moments. I don't want to spoil anything, but having them respond to seeing what the whole team at Tech 9 put together with love and respect and encouragement for what we're doing and where we're going, that was a high moment, to say the least, for sure.
For my part, well, there's a lot of moments in the game that I'm really proud of, but I don't want to spoil any of them. But I would love to talk about the music in the game, which I'm really proud of. Really proud that we got the British indie folk rock band Daughter on board to make the score for the game, and the collaboration process with them was just amazing, and they just did some amazing work. They have the soundtrack you can buy starting tomorrow on lots of different platforms, and the music is just amazing, and the way it felt to drop this music in on top of the scenes when we were developing those are some of my favorite moments in development, to have these already emotional scenes just amped up to 11 as their score was layered on top of it. There were some incredible moments for us.
Yeah, I was going to mention the music definitely played a role, and of course on top of the material itself and the story, but the music always took it home for me. I mean, I will not lie, I shed a tear at the end of season 1. I mean, the music played a significant role in that. How do you guys choose the songs that go into the game? I mean, do you have like a meeting and discuss, like, you have a whole list and you have to choose the best ones out of that list, or how do you decide on that?
Well, first of all, we started, there's 2 aspects. There's the score, mostly instrumental music that goes underneath a lot of scenes, and then we have licensed tracks that we sort of harvest out there from the indie music scene to fit particular moments and places in our story. So for the score, first of all, we said, okay, what is this game going to sound like? What does Chloe's world sound like? And we knew it needed to feel like a Life is Strange game, and the music was such a big part of that. So that was very important to us, but we also knew it couldn't sound like Max's world. So we looked for stuff that was still that indie vibe, but a little edgier, a little more raw. And so you'll hear, more electric guitar maybe, or a little more rhythm in some of these songs. So that finally led us to Daughter, and we talked to them about the score. We developed a number of themes that we wanted them to write to, and just sort of described particular themes, moments, and characters in the game, and asked them to create tracks that kind of suited those. And then we mostly just stepped back and let them do what they're brilliant at, and they brought us some some music, and we collaborated a little bit to tune it to our needs, and we had some fantastic music. And then for the licensed tracks, that's just going out there and looking and finding something, just keeping your ears open and finding that track that says, oh, that's Chloe waking up in her bedroom the morning after the big party or whatever, and just finding just the right thing, and hopefully the band wants to share their music with us, and we got some great bands to do that. Totally.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak lastly on I can imagine both how daunting and exciting it is with the game launching today, and I just wanted to congratulate you guys and already the positive buzz on Twitter that's surrounding the game. I myself have yet to jump into it, but I'm thrilled. So I just can't thank you both enough for your time, and congratulations to you and all of Deck 9 for Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Thanks so much. Really excited. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for the kind word. We're thrilled.
Certainly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, for more on Life is Strange Before the Storm and all things PAX West 2017, keep it locked right here on COGconnected.